Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all,
Just stop.
get real.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Diwali to all of our Hindu friends. Hello, everyone.
I was so interested in this holiday because I first started getting the notifications when I first got an iPhone like a decade ago.
Yeah. Right.
And then I did this deep dive because I'm a dweeb and like went really deep into it and like how the celebration is. And then I saw Pharrell went to go celebrate with his wife one time. And it's like, you know, it's with the paint and the color.
It's an enormous
a beautiful
party.
Yeah, it's just like this beautiful celebration of life that I just was like, wish that I could be a part of.
Let's have a joint Diwali party maybe one
I thought
day.
you were going to stop that sentence a little short.
Okay. I love you. All right. It's also known, if you didn't know, as the Festival of Lights, and today is the first day, so we want to make sure we give a shout out to our Hindu watchers and friends. I do want to get to this, and I'm sure you all are seen it. Drivers on a very busy freeway in Los Angeles got a very rude awakening over the weekend. They were greeted by these. These are banners that are hung by an anti-Semitic group while doing the Nazi salute. They say, "Honk if you know, Kanye is right about the Jews." They also promoted an online video platform like YouTube that features all sorts of anti-Semitic white supremacist content. Also, check out these anti-Semitic flyers that were put into mailboxes same day in an LA neighborhood with the faces of the Hollywood execs that happen to be Jewish. Lots of stars reacted online. Amy Schumer posted, "I support my Jewish friends and the Jewish people." She also commented, "Do you know what the Jewish community is afraid this will lead to? 1 in 2 people don't know the Holocaust happened. Stand up." Jen Aniston posted this to her Instagram story, pointing out the similarities between the group hanging banners and Nazis. Sarah Silverman posted this, "Let me guess, still not time to get scared." Now, a lot of this anti-Semitism seems to be spurred by recent anti-Semitic comments by Kanye West, which has had some real consequences. So let's talk about that. Vogue has now cut ties. Balenciaga has now cut ties. And some, and I mean a lot, including myself, are calling for Adidas to do the same, although their business relationship is still technically under review. So, what do you all think about these anti-Semitic sentiments? Why is this happening? Is Kanye responsible? Just so you know, in 2021, the United States has the highest on record of anti-Semitic assault, vandalism, and harassments targeting Jewish communities. It was up 34%. What do we all think when you first saw this, Al? What do you think?
You know, it tracks. You know, we saw this, and we've been kind of covering Kanye more on than off for the last 4 or 5 years now. And, you know, I know, Lindsay, that we keep saying it's his mental health, and I do believe that's a major component, but it does kind of seem to be the same notes. You know, slavery was a choice. You know, the reason things are bad in your life is because of Jewish people, you know, attacking his wife. I think that Kanye now serves a different master. And I think that his words are being used to promote these websites that have been around, but he is lending his name and his following and his status to this hate. And it's going to make a lot of people a lot of money, and it's really sad.
Right. I think we're at a crossroads where people have to pick a side, because silence to me is violence. You know, you have, like you said, anti-Semitic hate crimes are up the most they've ever been in the last year. And it's not that all this goes to Kanye, just like all of the reason that we're screaming Black Lives Matter doesn't go to Trump. But I do think that it's in line for promoting those people to then put up the Hitler salute, put up the Nazi salute in front of signs in 2022 is disgusting. And so I think, you know, Balenciaga cut ties Vogue, but Adidas, you can't be quiet. Money can't be more important to you than people who actually buy the items there. You're doing more harm than you are good by still supporting this type of language. It's why everyone was getting so upset that people were giving Kanye a platform. At least 3 major outlets gave Kanye big interviews after he said what he said. It's like, enough is enough. Okay, we get that ratings bring money, but what's more important? Have some integrity and morals for your organization. And I think that's across the board. And I think more importantly, people want to ask Tory and other of their Jewish friends how we best can support you in these situations, because I think it's important to not be quiet, to say something, and what can we do to show people that we're not going to stand for this individually.
First of all, thank you so much for saying that and for what both of you have said. I want to actually start off very quickly with a 1-sentence background on Adidas. The company is founded by 2 Nazis. okay? 2 brothers, and they were part of the Nazi family in Germany. They're part of the Nazi regime in World War II, not particularly involved, but they were there. They became separate and hated each other, and one of them became the start of Puma. So Adidas and Puma, started by the two brothers who already have ties to some strong anti-Semitic situations. The fact that you have yet to speak is heartbreaking, and it says a lot. To not get ahead of this for the Monday news cycle is astonishing to me. The fact that we have to call this
a PR department, I'm assuming.
At some point, someone has to realize Yeezys do make a lot of money, but like you said, human beings are human beings. Adidas, we are looking at you, we are watching you, and we are seeing what you're doing. And why I say this is it leads to what I have to say about what you said. If you are an ally of the Jewish brothers and sisters, and I am Jewish and I'm very proud to be that, I deliberately talk about my Judaism, I use Yiddish words, I want to normalize that. People have written me in their 70s saying, I never yet used to say I was Jewish, but I'm so glad you do on TV. Please don't be silent. Silence is the most terrifying part of this all, because we've already seen what happened. In 1939, when Hitler rose and kept rising, why did it work? Because we kept silent. No one stood up. So there's this really important quote I want to read, and it says, first, they came for the socialists. I didn't speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. That has happened in our lifetime, and we need to know not to repeat it. Whew. Sorry about that.
Appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, I'm really scared.
Yeah,
and if you are an ally like both of you, you yell from the rooftops, I'm not buying Adidas. This is not okay. I stand up for you. I believe in you. And I don't allow for anti-Semitism to become something we already fought a war over.
Right.
Do you not remember the 1940s? People died.
But that's
a whole
kind of
generation.
That's kind of the point. People don't want you to remember the 1940s. A lot of the stories we're covering about what people want taught in schools is our unpleasant history, but that unpleasant history is civil rights. It's suffrage for women. It is, the Holocaust and the atrocities that led up to that. Learning about World War II and the fact that it happened, okay, you memorize a date in a couple countries, but why it happened is why what we never talk about. And we are now seeing people that are new to this earth that don't understand. We start having people saying slavery is a choice, that the Holocaust never happened because people are not learning these things.
And it's reckless, Al.
That's why reckless. That's why they're so involved in not teaching this to kids.
And let me say this really quickly. In Berlin, in Germany, people stopped learning about the Holocaust. They have made it mandatory for everyone to know and understand as to not repeat it. That's what we should be doing here. And Adidas, we're looking at you. Coming up on DBL, our self-checkout machines too easy to steal from. One woman was arrested for not scanning any items, but only after months of stealing.
Maybe she's a bad employee.
And her interview with Tamar Braxton, she tells us all about her first impressions of her surreal life castmates. Stay tuned for that.
Closed captioning provided by
Poshmark.
I'm easily tickled, y'all.
Yeah,
It doesn't take much.
We're going to sit here and be
Okay,
right.
I know y'all gonna be mad at me, but I'm just telling you the truth.
You can smirk all you want. You don't have to tell me to go.
Brad Pitt. That good to talk to you all, and I appreciate that a lot of you are writing in. And if you haven't, and I know this sounds a little silly, but if you've never posted on social media supporting your Jewish brothers and sisters, today is a pretty good day to do that. We feel.
I think there's like levels too of like how you can help. Like send it. People read. Bert reads our emails, right? Send an email to Adidas. I can find the email for you easily. Yeah. You can call, like, because my grandma, like, you know, she likes to give people a call still, and that still works. That. You know, like, she will call up Cablevision, like, why you don't have this channel anymore? And enough of that actually works. So if you mix all the generations and provide a solution for every single person, from people who like to get on the phone, send an email, and people who do social media, even TikTok, that's when you start to make noise on every level. Make it easy for people to help you, which is why it's frustrating, because people should know better. Right. I like to start from the place people should know better,
and I would
but
say
it does help to teach people how to help you.
Make sure to shut down conversations that are going on around you that you don't like.
Fair.
Because I think there's a lot of like social media, you're sending this out to all your followers, but just if you're somewhere, somebody that you know or somebody that you barely know says something, like you'd be like, hey, you're not
cool
going to talk
me.
like that around me. Like that kind of stuff on a local, personal, individual level I think it goes a long way.
It really does. And what's funny is in the 39 to 45 era of the World War II, it was like you didn't want to say you were Jewish. And that's the difference between then and now. And so that's why I'm, again, so deliberately Jewish. But I want us to not be scared to stand up for that in real life instead of just letting it go. Our greatest generation fought to get rid of the Nazis. And we're back on the 405 freeway with them giving a Heil Hitler salute. That guy got arrested for doing it at Auschwitz, by the way. Welcome back. Answer me really quick. Do you use the self-checkout at the grocery store?
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Have you ever missed scanning an item? Well, check this out. A woman in Michigan was arrested at Walmart for allegedly failing to scan every item she was purchasing when confronted.
She looks unbothered by
She
her
looks so
decisions.
annoyed. The woman left the store. Then they went back and looked at footage of all of her past checkouts and said she had stolen more than $1,000 since April by failing to scan stuff.
That's called stealing.
Yeah, failing to scan. That's a nice way.
I failed to find the owner of this car, so I took it.
Yeah.
So that's mine now. This got us talking. What is to stop people from stealing this way? Have you ever missed scanning an item during self-checkout? And may I remind you, I didn't know this, it technically and scientifically doesn't make it go faster if you do self-checkout.
Yeah, I think it's just to pay less people. That was more of the goal of that.
That's true.
I don't know if I believe that. I think self-checkout's got things moving.
Well, not according to science, but DBL Nation, let us know. Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Have y'all ever done this?
No, you gotta have some freaking integrity. That's the thing. Like, people don't need to be watching you for you to behave like a normal human being and not an animal. You don't steal from the store. Like, you learned that when you were little. Yeah, when I was 5, I took some candy. I got slapped on the wrist. All right, I didn't take candy again. Like, just be an adult. You have to pay for the $5 thing.
Well, you're being an adult about it. I'm just very self-centered. I just don't want to get caught stealing deodorant.
Yeah, how beautiful you look.
It's a very just a selfish thing for me where I'm just like, I'm not like letting somebody that's 20 years younger than me being like, sir, can you come in here? Like, I can't, Tori. So I'm like, and also it says you're on camera.
Right.
So I don't know if those cameras are on, but it just seems like there'd be a shame factor. But I feel like there's got to be every 10th person's got to either like when the bananas you're weighing aren't weighing, you're like, that means God wants me to have them.
But there's like an awful lot of lawsuits about clerks and people at stores that decide to like tackle someone that's stealing. Like, that's why you cannot do that.
Oh, wow.
You can't. Somebody at Nordstrom was just telling me that, like, yeah, we know people are stealing, but we're not going to jump on them and charge them through the door, because that's a lawsuit for us, and we have insurance to cover the $400 product. Even though we're offended, we know you're walking out with the $400 coat. It's still like, we will lose more money in this lawsuit if they decide to sue us, and it happens all the time.
It happens to porch pirates too. Like, if a porch pirate grabs your package and runs, and your partner Colin tackles him and breaks their ankle, guess who's paying for that bill? It's crazy.
It is true. Let me ask you something. I thought you had to put it in and it would weigh the thing. So I've always been like, there's no way you can steal because they'll weigh it.
Well, sometimes like the water sits under your cart, you just bring it down. So and you got to make space in that little area to put all your groceries away.
Lindsay's giving away her stealing tactics.
Yeah, I just be robbing them left and right.
Yeah.
I like the water idea. All right, let's see if you ever missed it. No, 78% of you, good for you people. 22% of you, shame on you.
I like the honesty with the 22%.
I do
ready for jail.
You. Yeah, you were real with us, and we appreciate that. Speaking of checking out at stores, check this out. But before you do, a quick warning, this picture is just a little graphic. A man in Britain has become the first in the country to have his bank card chip implanted into his hand. Ew. So now he can check out by just waving it over the card reader. He traveled to Germany to have it implanted, costing him close to $400 because the credit card swipe is so difficult.
How much stuff is he buying?
Right.
You
can't, this is too heavy?
Yeah, and also like when you pull your card out, Lindsay, that's the time you make your little small talk. I'm a little chit-chatter at the front, I'm sorry. So
but
I
also don't you guys feel like every 3 years the way we pay changes? Like, okay, hold it over. Okay, swipe.
Tap it.
The card chip reader was, so you have this old thing in your hand.
It's gonna be old, yeah.
In 5 years, what are you gonna do? Keep getting surgery for the newest, latest technology?
I guess so, and also if his credit card gets stolen or changed, he has to get a new one. if his credit card number, if you know they update him with a new one. But I will say, we are speaking, and I'm thinking 20 years in the future, this is a Black Mirror. Everyone's going to have this, aren't they?
Well, I feel like people will be able to pay like with their fingerprint. So it would just be you or like your eyes, like when you go through Clear at the airport. I feel like that will be like your financial situation is tied to your DNA,
I mean,
which is weird.
It does track. It does seem like the further we get in technology, it's just like the less stuff you touch. Remember, like growing up, like there were buttons you had to push them down. And now I don't think my kids ever touched a button. You know, so
it's like you wave
there used to be buttons on your cell phone. You used to push down on it.
Or press it 3 times to get to A.
T9, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Terrible. Well, let us know if this is ever, if you would consider doing this. I know some people in glasses want to have their credit card in the glass. So they
I
can
lose glasses way too often, more than credit cards.
True.
And also, wouldn't you accidentally pay for things just by looking at them?
That's a problem.
Okay.
Coming up on DBL, our interview with singer Tamar Braxton. She tells us all about her current tour and how she thinks R&B is not dead.
You may have started your day with a little yoga, going on a run, or to the gym because exercise is good for your health. So what do we know about exercise and breast cancer outcomes? Let's verify with these sources. This 2020 study, funded by and published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute, looked at how physical activity impacted outcomes in high-risk breast cancer patients. Following more than 1,300 people for up to 15 years, it found regular physical activity before diagnosis and after treatment is associated with lower likelihood of death or the cancer coming back. The strongest correlation is among those who at least met minimum exercise guidelines, but even those who have lower levels of physical activity benefit. The National Institute of Health also encourages some level of activity among cancer survivors, citing research that shows it can help improve physical and mental health after debilitating treatments and enhance quality of life. Dr. Kalavis Vinathan says we're learning more all the time about how important lifestyle factors are when it comes to breast cancer risk and treatment outcomes.
I really started to talk to people at a younger age now, so in their 20s and 30s, exercising regularly, eating a healthy diet, modest alcohol. If you can start early and move forward, it is helpful.
Okay, so how much exercise? These are the current guidelines for physical activity in adults. Less sitting, more moving, at least 2.5 hours of moderate intensity or 1 hour and 15 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise per week, or some combination of that, preferably spread throughout the week. Adults should also do moderate to intense muscle strengthening activity involving all muscle groups 2 or more days a week. Today is a good day to start. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Her music is her family business, and we found out how this little sister's big personality fit in a house with other celebs. Earlier, we caught up with Grammy Award-winning artist Tamar Braxton. Check it out.
Tamar, so good to see you.
Hey.
Hi, good to see you guys.
It's been forever.
Okay, sis, let's get into it because I want to know, why did you decide to move into the surreal house with celebrities like Kim Coles, Dennis Rodman, and Stormy Daniels?
Ooh. Okay, first of all, I had no idea who was going to be in this house, right? But I did want to be a part of the show because I was such a huge fan as a kid. Watching that show used to bring me so much joy. Me and my sisters used to sit around and laugh our faces off. And I wanted my own experience, you know, when the opportunity presented itself. So here I am.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see this. So what were some of the first impressions of your Surreal Life castmates? Tell us.
Oh, my God. I was the second person in the house. So the first person in the house was Dennis Rodman. So when I walked through the door, he was like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, oh, my God. oh my God, this is going to be wild.
Yep.
And as people started coming into the house, it started to feel more calmer. And I was really grateful about that because, you know, Dennis is funny. He's a firecracker at the same time. And so I was real grateful about the calmness that started to walk through the door.
Balance.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about people coming in the door, but I want to know, like, if you could have kicked anyone out of the house, who would it have been and why? Because you know, we all like that person could go and I could still sleep well at night.
Oh yeah, well, when I first met Stormy, I definitely didn't sleep well that night.
My haunted doll, Susan.
Her and her haunted doll she bought, you know, I was not.
That's this one.
Yeah, I was not here for it. I was like, I have gone through a lot of things in my life. I am not being taken out by Chucky's bride.
Yeah.
It was a lot going on. And I definitely wanted to put her out the first night. But then I got a chance, you know, to get to know her. She has an amazing personality. A fun fact, we're birthday twins.
Yeah.
Yes, on the same birthday. And so I come to find out that you can't really always judge a book by its cover. And sometimes it's really, you know, best to get to know someone and know them for who they really truly are. And I'm really grateful about that.
That's what's up.
Oh, you know, fairness and discernment.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Who would have thought?
Yes.
Who would have thought? All right.
Who would have thought, child?
Well, I know I've been thinking for quite some time, you and music, and you're currently touring with other R&B stars, including Keith Sweat, Tevin Campbell, Monica, and Escape. Why do you think Diddy and many others are debating if R&B is dead?
I don't know, because it definitely isn't dead. You know, we are touring around the country in arenas and we're selling out and all of the fans are showing up. And it's such a huge blessing to reconnect with our fans with the records that they love and the records that, you know, made us who we are. And I just feel like, you know, it's not dead for that reason in itself, because it's a strong connection, you know, to who we are, and it's a strong connection to, you know, the things that bring us the most wonderful memories. And it's definitely not dead, Diddy. I don't think he truly, honestly believes that.
I was going to say you were on tour with my adolescence, my coming of age, all those artists. I can tell you what summer. I can tell you where I was. It's just like, it's just, I cannot wait.
Yeah. Well,
yes, it's familiar and it's amazing.
Another thing we can't wait for, you mentioned the fans, and us Tamartians want to know, when can we expect new music from you?
Yeah, give us the tea.
Oh, y'all so funny. Well, very, very soon. A lot of people don't know that Bishop T.D. Jakes and I just put out a project where I have a new record, and it's gospel. I know that's probably not what y'all want to hear right now. But
I always want to hear gospel, child.
I'm offended at that. Absolutely, we have some gospel. Talk to us. When can we find this? Where can we find this?
It's on the Thou Art Loose album, and it's a song with myself and The New Breed with Israel Houghton. And it's called Glory, and we will be performing it very soon. I'm going to make an announcement, and I'm really excited about it. And as far as the R&B, y'all got to wait till next year.
Okay.
But it's definitely coming. And I'm really excited about it.
Nice. Tamar, you've got so many things. You've got so many things up your sleeve. Congratulations. And DBL Nation, The Surreal Life returns to VH1 tonight.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Thank you so much, Tamar.
Thank you, Tamar.
As always, thank you.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In the weeks leading up to the spookiest night of the year, many local news reporters and police departments warned parents about people potentially tampering with their kids' Halloween candy. And that left parents wondering what could end up in their kids' trick-or-treat bag. From razor blades to needles and even marijuana-laced candy. This year, rainbow fentanyl is the new scare. But is there any truth to these claims? Let's verify. Are legitimate reports of contaminated Halloween candy common? Our sources include 4 police departments, a criminal justice professor, and the National Confectioners Association. The National Confectioners Association ran a Halloween candy hotline from 1982 to 2012 for police and poison control centers to report contaminated candy in the U.S. In an email to Verify, an NCA spokesperson confirmed they no longer track these reports, but, quote, agree anecdotally that these are typically isolated, rare, false reports and or hoaxes, unquote. Joel Best, a sociology and criminal justice professor at the University of Delaware, has researched reports of Halloween candy tampering in the U.S. dating back to the 1950s.
I can't find any evidence that any child has ever been killed or seriously hurt by a contaminated treat picked up in the course of trick-or-treating.
The Verify team reached out to several police departments across the country that had previously received reports of potentially contaminated Halloween candy in the last decade. Last year, the Ben Salem Police Department in Pennsylvania confiscated 50 marijuana-laced edibles from a man that intended to sell them within the state. The edibles mimicked popular snack brands. According to Frederick Herron, director of public safety for the Ben Salem Police Department, the incident was not connected to Halloween and confirmed his department hasn't received any reports of contaminated candy being given to children in the past. In 2015, police in Winchester, Indiana, received reports about a razor blade found in a candy bar. That same year, needles were reportedly found in Halloween candy in Blackwood, New Jersey. According to local police, both reports were determined to be hoaxes. There are some legitimate claims out there. According to the Waterbury Police Department in Connecticut, back in 2019, a man was arrested after parents found razor blades at the bottom of their kids' trick-or-treat bags. Police confirmed the children were not injured or hurt. Waterbury PD says it is not aware of any incidents prior or since that incident occurred. So we can verify that no, legitimate reports of contaminated Halloween candy are not common. According to the National Safety Council, it's cars, not candy, that pose the biggest threat to kids on Halloween. Their data indicates children are more than twice as likely to be hit or killed by a car on Halloween than any other day of the year. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Tax brackets are changing to help your bottom line. Let's connect the dots. This year's been tough for families. 2022 has seen the sharpest rise in prices since the 1980s. In a normal year, the IRS changes tax brackets to move with the inflation rate. But 2022 is different. The high inflation is anything but normal. Now, the IRS is making a change to help out families. Tax brackets are moving up to offset those high costs. So if your salary isn't rising with inflation, you'll likely fall into a lower tax bracket in 2023. That means the government could take less money out of your pocket, especially those who are low income. All of this to help Americans keep up with rising prices. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Want to have whiter teeth but don't want to deal with the messy strips, or you have sensitivity that goes with it? Well, you're in luck. The brand that brought you Power Whitening Gel has created new Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel with 33% greater whitening power. Effective tooth whitening can be achieved at home. All you have to do is simply add the Pro Whitening Gel to your toothpaste every time you brush. No change to your routine, no extra time needed. In a clinical study, users had an average 8-shade improvement after using the gel for 30 days. Smile Actives is safe and effective and will even work on crowns, bondings, and dentures. Order today for a special buy one, get one free. Don't want to get your whiter, brighter, whiter smile? Don't wait. Call 1-800-700-4040 or visit smileactives.com today. We have a great comment about the card being implanted in your hand. They said, oh my God, now I'm thinking they'd cut off your hand if they wanted to rob you.
Oh, wow.
That's a really good point.
I didn't think about that.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.